Have you ever wondered why some of the most successful people on the planet use the fewest apps? Here's the crazy part. After I deleted 90% of the apps on my phone, I made more money, slept better, and finally stopped feeling like I was constantly behind. Sounds impossible, right? But here's exactly what happened. Most people don't realize this, but the average American checks their phone 344 times a day. That's once every 4 minutes. And no, it's not just social media. We're bouncing between email, banking apps, games, weather updates, calendars, and about 20 other things we think we need. But the truth is, these apps aren't helping us. They're distracting us, draining us, and in many ways, they're controlling us. Let me take you back to last year. I was doing everything right, hustling hard, managing a packed calendar, and juggling dozens of apps to stay productive. I had apps for meditation, journaling, project management, meal planning, habit tracking, you name it. My home screen looked like a digital jungle. I told myself I was optimizing my life, but what I was really doing? Micromanaging my existence into burnout. It all came to a head one Tuesday afternoon. I missed a client call because a calendar notification didn't pop up. I was furious, not at the client, but at my phone. I had just different productivity tools, and somehow none of them had helped me show up on time. That night, I stared at my phone and realized something wild. I had over 120 apps that were installed, and yet I felt more disorganized than ever. So I did something drastic. I backed up my phone, poured myself a cup of black coffee, and deleted almost everything. Literally 90% of my apps gone. No more just-in-case apps. No more trying out 6 different to-do lists. I left myself with only the essential: phone, messages, maps, a calendar, one music app, one email client, and a browser. That was it, and the next morning, I panicked. I picked up my phone and instinctively looked for Twitter. Gone. Opened my home screen and tried to find that timer app I used to use to track my deep work sessions. Not there. I reached for my bank app, also deleted. For the first time in years, my phone felt quiet. Still, almost too still. But something fascinating happened by day 3. I started breathing deeper. I wasn't reaching for my phone every 10 minutes. I was thinking more clearly. Focus came back. So did sleep. And surprisingly, my creativity. I began to write again. Ideas I hadn't thought of in years suddenly started to surface. I thought I was the only one going through this. But then I discovered something called app fatigue. It's a very real psychological effect that occurs when we overload our brains with micro decisions all day long. Like which app to use for grocery lists or whether to track our hydration. We think we're being productive, but we're actually draining our cognitive battery at an alarming rate. That's when I started studying how the top performers, the ones building million-dollar companies or living deeply fulfilled lives, handle their digital tools. And here's the pattern I noticed. They simplify. They don't try to use more apps to solve every problem. They find one solution and go deep. So how can you do the same? Here's the 3-step method that changed my digital life and arguably my entire mindset. Step 1, identify your digital essentials. The first step is brutal honesty. You have to sit down and list out every app you use in a week, not just the ones on your home screen, the ones buried in folders, the ones you downloaded during a burst of motivation, the ones you forgot you had. Once you list them all, ask yourself, which of these actually improves my life? Not entertains, not distracts, but improves. For me, that was just a few. Maps, because I can't memorize streets. Notes for ideas. Calendar to stay sane. Email, because work. And a few utilities like a camera and weather. The goal here isn't to go full caveman. It's to curate a toolbox, not a junk drawer. Step 2, delete ruthlessly, replace intentionally. After identifying what mattered, I went on an app purge, and yes, it hurt. There were apps I had emotional attachments to, like a sleep tracker I hadn't used in 6 months, or an investment app I checked daily even though I wasn't trading anything. Here's a trick. If you're hesitating to delete something, move it to a hidden folder for a week. If you don't open it during that time, you probably never needed it. Once I cleaned house, I found I actually had more control. I wasn't reacting to notifications. I was choosing when to engage. And if I really needed something later, I could re-download it. But that almost never happened. The key here is to replace volume with the intentionality. Instead of 5 different focus apps, I chose one, a timer with 0 ads and no social features. Instead of 3 note apps, I went all in on one that synced everywhere and had the cleanest interface. Step 3, build a system around less. Once I had a lean set of apps, I built rituals around them. I set time blocks for checking email, twice a day. I used my calendar for actual time management, not as a dumping ground for random tasks. And I kept my phone on grayscale mode most of the time to reduce screen temptation. This last step is where the magic happens. It's not about having fewer apps. It's about building better boundaries. Your phone becomes a tool again, not a tyrant. You stop living at the mercy of your screen. I also started putting my phone in a drawer for at least 2 hours a day. That one habit, life-changing. Suddenly, I had space to think, to write, to connect. And get this, I started finishing more work in less time. Turns out, when you stop multitasking between 5 apps, your brain starts functioning like it's supposed to. Within 2 weeks, I had more energy. Within a month, I had landed 2 new clients without any fancy CRM app. Just clear thinking, focused effort, and better boundaries. Now, a few months in, I'll never go back. Deleting 90% of my apps didn't make me less productive. It made me more powerful because I wasn't leaking energy into 100 distractions. I was channeling it into the things that mattered. And here's the best part. My phone? It's no longer the center of my world. It's a tool again. I don't scroll aimlessly anymore. I create, I reflect, I rest, and most importantly, I'm present. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, scattered, or just stuck, try this. You don't have to delete everything at once, but start asking, what's really serving me? You might be surprised how much noise you can live without. And if this blew your mind even a little, wait until you see what happened when I tried living without any screen for 72 hours. That experiment, let's just say, things got weird, fast. Make sure to hit the like button if this resonated with you and drop a comment below. How many apps do you actually use every day? I'd love to hear your number. And hey, don't forget to subscribe if you're into minimalist strategies that actually work.